there's going to be a big event. Something enormous is going to happen. And these people who have been abducted, and there's probably over 100,000 of them, have been given some place to go and something to do. But under our best hypnotic techniques, we cannot find out what it is.
So how do we know that that's true?
Because they said they're going to do something. They know that they're going to do something, but under the hypnosis, they can't find out exactly what it is.
We're kind of preparing the U.S. population, at least, and by extension, the world population, into that reality that there is a presence here, and that we need to explain this presence. Because if they show up and we continue to do what we did before, previous decades, and they show up, there will be mass panic. But if you understand that these are real, and we have 5 years from 2022, or maybe now 4 years, if they come in 2027, for the U.S. government to prepare the people about what is up there. And in many ways, I think the word got out within the government that they're showing up in 2027, and we better be prepared, and if not, there's going to be a lot of explaining to do.
Definitely. It better happen before that. I don't think we're going to be in any shape in a decade to be doing very much of anything, so I'm not hopeful for the future direction that we're moving in it.
And the future direction, climate-wise, AI-wise?
Climate-wise and geopolitical-wise, that's the thing I think is going to kind of come. I think things are going to be pretty difficult starting in a few years. And from what I've been told by sources.
What does that mean? It's going to be difficult?
I can't say specifically. I don't know that much yet, and I can't really say, but just that a lot of what we take for granted now in life, I don't think is going to be, we're not going to have it. A lot of things we have now that makes our lives as wonderful as they are.
Like electricity?
I don't know. Just the access to all the things we have access to now that are dependent on the globalization, basically.
The challenge is an effort to involve an acquisition of information from the other side that proves or disproves what information BIX already has from multiple kinds of sources as to the disposition of the human race in time coming. It's a pessimistic view that we have relative to the data that are telling us what we see. I'm hoping we're wrong.
If I understand what you're saying, it's basically like the data that is coming into you from multiple sources leads you to have a pessimistic outlook on the future of humanity.
Yeah.
And you're looking for some way that we might be able to change that apparent destiny.
I don't think that's an achievable goal for me. I think I'm an explorer, a researcher, and I think that problem is gigantic. It's huge.
Because it's coming at us from many angles.
Yeah, it's probably already written on the wind one way or another, and it's going to happen. And there's little or nothing we can do about it. Part of that is a function of nobody's going to listen anyway, and so who are we talking to, right? So we'll know, maybe we'll have more information than the average person on the street is going to have, right? And maybe that will give us some ability to have some comfort in our thought process of thinking about not just our container has a clock ticking, but from normal biological disintegration or whatever, or an accident or something coming along, but from a standpoint that things are really going to be bad. And how do you prepare yourself for that and those that you love and care for, or friends? How do you prepare for any of that?
Get rumors of events regarding UAP that may occur within, like 10 years or so. I don't know if it's something coming or a natural disaster. You hear of something big coming down the pike. Have you heard of these claims? And if so, do you have any idea what it may be?
Yes, I've heard of them. Yes, I'm aware of them, and I'm not able to have that conversation.
Got it.
It's not my conversation to have, but I am aware of it.
Welcome back to The Night Shift, the show that goes deeper into the UFO rabbit hole. So that you don't have to, because let's be honest, it's dark, it's humid, a lot of twists and turns. If you don't know what you're doing, if you're not paying attention, if you don't have a guide, well, you could get super lost, and that would just ruin your whole afternoon. So let's hope it doesn't come to that. You're not alone. That's what we're here for. UFOs are like that cool band that you and only a few other people know about. And then you go to tell somebody about it, and they're like, stop talking to me. I'm trying to have dinner, and I'm here with my family, and I don't know who you are. Why do you keep bothering me? And you're like, but you need to know about this band. And then they're like, can somebody get a manager over here and throw this guy out? And then you're banned from Chili's. It's kind of like that. That's where UFOs are right now. But that's about to change. And depending on who you listen to, it could change sooner rather than later. That's right. We're talking about the timeline, the event schedule, 2027 or 2028 or 2030, depending on who you talk to. But soon, something is going to happen. We're going to get to that in just a minute. But before we do, a couple of updates. Hey, the channel just broke 13,500 subscribers. Just about a year ago, we were at like 100 subscribers. And I would just check my phone 3 times a day to see if anybody had subscribed. And then I'd like look at it and we'd lose 3 subscribers. And I was like, why did they leave? But now we're going the other way and the wheels have left the runway. So go team. Yay us. Congratulations. We've done it. We're on our way to 14,000. We're on the road to 100K. We're going to get there. But it's going to take all of us. So thank you. Welcome aboard all our new subscribers. If you're not already a subscriber, just do me a favor. Hit that button. It only takes a second. Doesn't cost anything. And it really helps me out. And I know you want to help me out because you're cool like that. And I do appreciate it. Now, special shout out to our members. You guys are the heart of Team Night Shift. If it weren't for you, none of this would be possible. Because I'd be working at Chick-fil-A. And I couldn't come here and do this. So, really dodged the bullet with that one. All right. Couple of updates. Here's some updates to the website. If you haven't been here in a while, go to teamnightshift.com. You can go check out our website, and we have, let me just do this. Can I do this? Where's my camera? Let's turn that off. If you go check out our website, we have a new link for our Discord. You can click this right here, and it's going to take you to the Discord server, and you can get involved with our community over there. We've been building a really cool community. This just launched a couple of weeks ago. It's really new. It's very exciting. Got some cool stuff going on over there. Some remote viewing stuff going on. We've got a great group, and it's growing pretty fast. So I'd love to have you be a part of it. If you want to come hang out with us on the Discord, we're going to be doing more events and trying to figure out some ways to make it more interesting over there. So come hang out with us and let's talk about it. Let's figure out what we can do. Some new merch. If you go up here to the store and click here, we have Night Shift text logo tees. These are brand new. These just dropped. And if you like the text logo, there you go. And don't forget the muscle tee. Classic. I've got like 3 of these. Oh, and the hat. Night Shift hat, brand new, right here. Free shipping on all shirts too, so check that out. Okay, so there's been a bunch of news lately in this space about James Webb Space Telescope, and then an object that is supposedly on its way here to Earth, and how some people in Congress have been receiving classified briefings about this object. And this is all happening at the same time, but there are two different things happening here. One is the James Webb Space Telescope has detected what they believe to be a biosignature on a planet. Okay, so here's the article on nasa.gov. I'll read the first little bit of it to you in case you don't want to go there and check it out, but I'll also link to it in the show notes. Let's just read a little bit. This calls for some background music. A new investigation with NASA's James Webb Space Telescope into K2-18b, an exoplanet 8.6 times as massive as Earth, has revealed the presence of carbon-bearing molecules, including methane and carbon dioxide. Webb's discovery adds to recent studies suggesting that K2-18b could be a Hycean exoplanet, one which has the potential to possess a hydrogen-rich atmosphere and a water-ocean-covered surface. The first insight into the atmospheric properties of this habitable zone exoplanet came from observations with NASA's Hubble Space Telescope, which prompted further studies that have since changed our understanding of the system. K2-18b orbits the cool dwarf star K2-18. I think it's a pretty cool star. In the habitable zone, it's my favorite zone, and lies 120 light years from Earth in the constellation Leo. Exoplanets such as K2-18b, which have sizes between those of Earth and Neptune, are unlike anything in our solar system. This lack of equivalent nearby planets means that these sub-Neptunes are poorly understood, and the nature of their atmospheres is a matter of active debate among astronomers. The suggestion that the sub-Neptune K2-18b could be a Hycean exoplanet is intriguing, as some astronomers believe that these worlds are promising environments to search for evidence of life on exoplanets. Quote, "Our findings underscore the importance of considering a diverse habitable environments in the search for life elsewhere," explained Niku Madhusudan, an astronomer at the University of Cambridge and lead author of the paper announcing these results. Traditionally, the search for life on exoplanets has focused primarily on smaller, rocky planets, but the larger Hycean worlds are significantly more conducive to atmospheric observations. The abundance of methane and carbon dioxide and shortage of ammonia supports the hypothesis that there may be a water ocean underneath a hydrogen-rich atmosphere in K2-18b. These initial Webb observations also provided a possible detection of a molecule called dimethyl sulfide, DMS. On Earth, this is only produced by life. The bulk of the DMS in Earth's atmosphere is emitted from phytoplankton in marine environments. So there you go. That's the main story, right? That's the one that's actually based in actual science that we can it's on NASA's website, like that's locked in. But simultaneous to this, right alongside of it, in parallel, there are a couple other things happening in the UFO UAP community which are interesting and have come together into something of a perfect storm. For a long time, there has been there's this longstanding rumor in the UAP UFO community that there is some kind of an impending event that is going to take place, something that is going to be gargantuan. It's going to be massive. It's going to be impossible to ignore, impossible to spin. Anybody who sees it is going to know exactly what it is, and that's going to be the end of this whole conversation about are they here, are they not here? It's going to be over and done with. The event. It's kind of just known as the event. Now, as far back as I can tell, the earliest mention of it was by a guy named John Lear on George Knapp's news show in Las Vegas, I think it was, in 1987 or 88. It was the late 80s. And John Lear said that he had it on good authority that something was coming.
There's going to be a big event. Something enormous is going to happen. And these people who have been abducted, and there's probably over 100,000 of them, have been given some place to go and something to do. But under our best hypnotic techniques, we cannot find out what it is.
So how do we know that that's true?
Because they said they're going to do something. They know that they're going to do something, but under the hypnosis, they can't find out exactly what it is.
More recently, Lou Elizondo has said things that have kind of alluded to the notion that something is coming. For one thing, his book is called Imminent, which, the clue is in the name. But he's also made statements that in a few years, things will be so far along that everybody's going to know what's going on, something to that effect. And even more recently, a retired CIA officer by the name of John Ramirez said that there was an expectation that something was going to happen right around 2027, that these non-human intelligences might just show up.
We're kind of preparing the U.S. population, at least, and by extension, the world population, into that reality that there is a presence here, and that we need to explain this presence. Because if they show up and we continue to do what we did before in previous decades, and they show up, there will be mass panic. But if you understand that these are real, and we have 5 years from 2022, or maybe now 4 years, if they come in 2027, for the U.S. government to prepare the people about what is up there. And in many ways, I think the word got out within the government that they're showing up in 2027, and we better be prepared. And if not, there's going to be a lot of explaining to do.
Oh, definitely. It better happen before that. I don't think we're going to be in any shape in a decade to be doing very much of anything. So I'm not hopeful for the future direction that we're moving in.
And the future direction, climate-wise, AI-wise?
Climate-wise and geopolitical-wise, the whole thing, I think, is going to kind of come. I think things are going to be pretty difficult starting in a few years. And from what I've been told by sources.
What does that mean? It's going to be difficult?
I can't say specifically. I don't know that much yet, and I can't really say, but just that a lot of what we take for granted now in life, I don't think is going to be, we're not going to have it. A lot of things we have now that makes our lives as wonderful as they are.
Like electricity?
I don't know. Just the access to all the things we have access to now that are dependent on the globalization, basically.
Now, there have been some significant rumors of events regarding UAP that may occur within, 10 years or so. I don't know if it's something coming or a natural disaster. You hear of something big coming down the pike. Have you heard of these claims? And if so, do you have any idea what it may be?
Yes, I've heard of them. Yes, I'm aware of them, and I'm not able to have that conversation.
Got it.
It's not my conversation to have, but I am aware of it.
So that rumor has been there for a long time, and it's different dates have come and gone. But what's interesting about it now is that we do seem to see a massive uptick and increase in UAP activity, and there is a lot more conversation about it out in the open. It's can be easily argued that this has now gone mainstream and is no longer a stigmatized topic, which was unthinkable just a few years ago, but that's happened. And we have legislation moving its way through Congress on UAPs. It's officially acknowledged in government legislation and government documentation. So it's been pretty much like we've crossed the Rubicon on this. We're in the early stages of some kind of disclosure. So the question is the ramp up in movement towards disclosure connected to the rumors of some kind of an impending event? Ross Coulthart even said once that he had it on good authority that everything was proceeding apace because there's some kind of a ticking time clock that is attached to all this. And most recently, in his presentation at the Soul Foundation, Carl Nell presented a slide that spelled out the various stages and steps of disclosure that had dates attached to it, and if you look at it carefully, it seems to say or suggest that if disclosure isn't done by a certain date, then the effects of not doing it are going to be catastrophic. And there will be some kind of catastrophic disclosure. So you have two options. You can either do a controlled, timed release where different pieces of information are rolled out as they become appropriate, and as the conversation progresses. And then hopefully, if you stick to a timeline and a timetable and you're able to do this right, then by the time something does happen, people are up to speed enough that it minimizes the collateral damage from a gigantic sort of existential event, right? The ontological shock of a massive contact event happening all over the world at the same time. So there are conflicting rumors about what's going on with this. And recently on the Psychoactivo podcast, Pavel did a video about an object that supposedly has been sighted moving towards Earth that is making adjustments to its course, and it's changing speed, and there are indications that it's under some kind of intelligent control. These are, as far as I know, just rumors, and there has been no evidence to support any of this. But according to Pavel, he has it on good authority that something is happening and that members of Congress are receiving classified briefings on this. So there's a lot of buzz right now about what all this could actually be and what it could mean. And if you look at the news in just the last few years, it really has ramped up, right? Like the disclosure timeline, disclosurediaries.com website, you can go to the disclosure timeline and you can go back to 2027. You can see what was happening, the big events each year. As they pick up speed, more things are happening. 2022, 2023, 2024. So if you're interested in following up on some of this stuff and just seeing how much progress has been happening, this is one place you can go. It's disclosurediaries.com/timeline. You can check this out. But there have been numerous articles. Here's the New Yorker, how the Pentagon started taking UFOs seriously. This is April 30th, 2021. Newsweek, is U.S. on the verge of catastrophic UFO leak? What do we know? Or what we know? So I just want you guys to understand that from here, where we go next is pure speculation, and we're going right down the UFO rabbit hole into Rumorville, and there is no way to know if anything we're about to see is for real. But it's very interesting, and so I'm going to show it to you anyway, because that's the UFO rabbit hole, right? Okay, so take a look at this. On famous last words, right? On Reddit, in the UFOs subreddit, there was a post today, 13 hours ago. We've had multiple people related to the UFO community talk about a 2027 date, John Ramirez, and now this latest speculation about an object coming to meet or hit us. No specifics are ever given, or the source of this information, which I believe to be this article. And then it has a link to a website called Forgotten Languages. Forgotten Languages was mentioned in the Schellenberger briefing document. This is according to the Post. Purported to be a website associated with cryptography. All right, so it's posted by Personal Space Cadet. So who's Personal Space Cadet? Personal Space Cadet, if we click this, and we look back, 301 post karma, 2709 comment karma, Cake Day, August 9th, 2024. Looks like a lot of posts. This could be a bot. But that's not the point. The point is, when you click this link, it takes us to the Forgotten Languages website, which if you go to the Forgotten Languages website, this is what you see. Now, Forgotten Languages, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, is really, really weird. It's super weird. In fact, I don't even really know how to describe it to you. So what I did was, and you're going to laugh, but I actually asked ChatGPT to explain this, And this is what ChatGPT comes back with. Let me just show you. I'm just going to read it to you. The Forgotten Languages Project is a mysterious and highly esoteric website that has intrigued and puzzled visitors for many years. It is a multilingual site that features articles, research papers, and texts in what appear to be constructed languages, conlangs, or highly complex codes. The content ranges from discussions about philosophy, linguistics, and metaphysics to obscure topics like extraterrestrial life, parallel realities, and advanced AI. Here are a few key aspects of the Forgotten Languages website. Obscure languages and text. Number one, most of the site is written in seemingly fictional or constructed languages that are difficult to decipher. These languages are often accompanied by strange symbols and glyphs, which contribute to the air of mystery. Linguists, cryptographers, and enthusiasts have attempted to decode the languages, but they remain largely unintelligible. ChatGPT and Claude AI have no idea what this text is. I copy pasted it in. They can't make heads or tails of it, which doesn't mean anything, but it's interesting. Number two, themes of the site. The articles cover a wide array of topics, including speculative physics, advanced metaphysics, occult philosophy, secret history, and conspiracies related to ancient civilizations, extraterrestrial life, and parallel universes. The discussions tend to be highly complex and often impossible to verify. Key point there. Number three, connection to conspiracies and fringe theories. Some believe, let me see if I can do this. Some believe. What do they believe? Some believe the site is connected to conspiracy theories. Here we go. Some believe the site is connected to conspiracy theories, black projects, secret societies, or even hidden knowledge kept by elites. Others have speculated it could be a cryptic game, an art project, or a type of elaborate ARG, alternative reality game. Number four, advanced AI theory. There is speculation that the site may be partially generated by an AI or designed as a testbed for artificial intelligence systems, especially since some content appears highly mathematical or algorithmic in nature. Number five, lack of clear purpose. One of the key features of the site is that it does not provide explanations about its purpose. There's no clear about page or mission statement, leaving visitors to interpret its intentions. Some think it could be a philosophical exploration or an academic project in a niche field of linguistic study, but this remains speculative. We're almost done. Stay with me. There's only seven. Six, limited audience and exclusive feel. That's what we're going for here at the Night Shift. It seems intended for a very niche audience or those willing to dive deep into speculative realms. The site's impenetrable language and cryptic structure can feel exclusionary to casual visitors, making it feel like a secretive club for those in the know. Also the Night Shift. Secretive club. 7. Speculation on hidden messages. This is the last one. Many visitors to the site have attempted to uncover hidden messages or coded information. Some believe it contains secret knowledge or concealed truths, while others think it's an elaborate puzzle meant to provoke intellectual curiosity. Overall, Forgotten Languages has gained a cult-like following among conspiracy theorists, language enthusiasts, fringe researchers. Whether it is an art project, a secret government experiment, or just an elaborate thought experiment remains a mystery. Is this something that relates to blah, 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 blah? Okay, so that's what ChatGPT has to say about this website. But that's not all. We go deeper. Here we go. Let's turn that off. This rabbit hole gets more interesting. So going back to the actual Reddit post here, if I click the link, it's going to take me to this page. This is from June 2nd, 2022. The Ethics of Silence, No Contact with Ephemeral Civilizations. ForgottenLanguages.org. Then there's this little image of a dish. Can't click it. FL on the front. And then when you start to scroll down, this is what's really weird about this website. You start to see all this stuff. This is the weird coded language or constructed language, conlang, whatever that is, that doesn't seem to make any kind of sense. And at least when you copy and paste it into ChatGPT, ChatGPT has no idea what to make of it. So it's complete gobbledygook unless you know what you're looking at, and I don't. So there's all this. But the third paragraph, weirdly, is in English, and here's what it says. Obviously, this is just how it starts. Obviously, such an advanced civilization will be able to predict well in advance of the trajectory of asteroids, and it will be able to detect asteroids whose existence humans do not even know about. And having made all the necessary calculations, they could conclude that Earth will suffer a fatal collision in such a time that establishing contact is not worthwhile. Beneath that is this little JPEG, and it says, it looks like a kind of a Venn diagram, extinction level asteroids impacts, and then there's coordinates in here. And maybe if somebody wants to plug these coordinates into whatever software and figure out what we're looking at here. But I'm not exactly sure what this is. Then we scroll down and there's more gobbledygook, right? And then it says in English, the cultural cost of a contact with other stellar civilizations already includes the cost of contact, knowing that the civilization being contacted will disappear in less than 1,000 years. Okay. And then more yada, yada, yada. We can't read any of this. And then below that, here it is. We know that in the year 2027, there will be a collision with an asteroid. This is from the Forgotten Languages website. I'll link to this page in the show notes. We know its dimensions, its orbit, and we have calculated with absolute certainty the devastating effects that such a collision will have on terrestrial civilization. It will not be lethal, but it will only be the first of 3 collisions, the last of which will be a mass extinction event. According to the simulations, anything living dies. So why contacting them? That's interesting. Why contacting them? That doesn't even sound correct. And then underneath that, there's a graphic, collisions with near-Earth objects, NEOs, and then every hour, every day, every year, every century, and then they've got this timeline, and then on the next axis, it looks like impactor size, mass extinction events, anything above, okay, I see, like 10 kilometers. This is the size. Yeah, that's interesting. Then we go down more coded language. And then it says in English, the maximum probability of making a contact does not just occur when a civilization discovers the required communication technology. What does that mean? Quantum tunneling technology, some kind of a quantum entanglement communication system? Something else is needed. It is also necessary for the longevity of both civilizations to be adequate. Contact with ephemeral civilizations is not profitable. That's an interesting statement. Maybe there's tremendous turbulence when 2 vastly different civilizations come into contact with one another. And unless you can count on the longevity of the civilization that you're contacting, maybe it's not worth the trouble, the hassle. That's an interesting thought. Scrolling down, major events prognosis is the next chart. Combined probability of events. And then it goes from 0 to 100. And then on this axis, it goes 2020 to 2070. These are the years. And then it says Queltron injection A. I can't make out this word, whatever this is. Queltron injection B and C. Injections. I'm not sure what that is. And then over here, as we go forward in time, between 2060 and 2070, we see LA earthquake, US-China war, MIL-orb deployment. Is that a military orbital platform? Is that what that is? MIL-orb? Disclosure A and B by 2070, and Gemino virus outburst by 2070. So combined probability of an event, and the highest probability events, according to this graph, are an LA earthquake and a US-China war. Those are the top two. Below that, we've got some more coded language. And then down here at the bottom, it says, we find that we expect the solar system to have experienced roughly one encounter within 780 AU within 4.6 GYR of time. GYR. What does GYR stand for? What does that mean? Thus, an attempt to migrate enough of a terrestrial civilization to ensure longevity can be met within the minimum requirement of travel between 1,500 and 5,000 AU. To migrate enough of a terrestrial civilization to ensure longevity. That sounds like a rescue operation. That sounds like we're coming to pick some people up, take them somewhere else. This is 2 orders of magnitude smaller than the current distance to Proxima Centauri. The conclusion is clear. If survival is the sole goal, then a civilization needs only transfer once to a long-lived K or M dwarf to ensure its survival for a Hubble time. Hubble time. Scrolling down to the bottom, there's a broken link here. It says the ethics of silence, no contact with ephemeral civilizations 3. Some more gobbledygook, Bibliographica, Ackley, DH, and Littman, ML, 1994. Altruism is the evolution of communication in artificial life, 4 pages 40 to 48. So these citations down here, FL 301 216 Code of Revelation, Managing Disclosure in the Age of Disbelief. And then down here, non-terrestrial threats, humans as Wister rats. Okay, so if I just click this just seems interesting to me. So I click this, and it opens up this page. Non-terrestrial threats, humans as Wister rats. What is that? Non-terrestrial threats. Okay, now, again, it's like 3/4 coded language, and then 25% of this is actually in readable English. So it begins like this. We confide in our strength without boasting of it. We respect that of others without fearing it. And then we get into coded language down to here. And then in English, it says, quote, but of all the things we did, good and bad, we only regret one of them, having contacted you. And not because we shouldn't do it, which we should, but because we didn't understand at the time that the only way to communicate with a mirror is to break it. Okay. Some more coded language. Underneath that, in quotes, this is not a failed communication, not even an attempt that ended in disaster. Rather, it is that we did not know that all communication modifies those who receive the message. That is what it's all about. More coded language, 2 more paragraphs, and then it says, this is interesting. Quote, the sky is full with new advanced military aircrafts and suborbital let's start again. The sky is full with new advanced military aircrafts and suborbital platforms, all of them part of the Next Generation Air Dominance NGAD program, Tier 1 and 2. The F-22 Raptor is just the lowest visible one. You find the PSVs, Sienna and Acridge, Presence, Tangent, and Graphium. High-performance mill orbs, the SR-72, the B-21, the B-22, the D-32. What's the D-32? Several types of LSSEADS, large-scale strike and electronic attack drones, and their Chinese and Russian counterparts. There are exotic kinetic weapons, mostly looking like small-sized rhenium spheres. Ooh, what's a rhenium sphere? Are we talking about the same spheres that we keep seeing? Looks like that stainless steel, like the Bet sphere. Cruise missiles with exotic propulsion systems, assuming that means hypersonic. And then you have non-terrestrial visitors objects. Today, information is so compartmentalized that nobody else can get access to data about these platforms, so they are largely unknown to even frontline pilots. We scroll down. More coded language. Then, in English, actually, the protocol was very simple. We first reported that there was life on Mars, microbes, bacteria. Then we reported that we had detected a signal that seemed artificial. Next, we reported the possible detection of an artificial object in the vicinity of Earth's orbit. Then, one by one, we refuted each discovery. The microbes were terrestrial contamination. The signal came from a military satellite. The artificial object was actually an asteroid. Then start over. Communicate that we had detected an intelligent signal coming from an exoplanet, an artificial object on the surface of Mars, and so on, over and over again. More coded language, and then another paragraph. Quote, for us, DP2147 is just a dial tone, a doorbell. That is, a technological object meant to communicate only the existence of technological life, we, in quote, or in parentheses, to other beings and or probes. Its role would be then just that, signaling that Sol 3 has technological life. I guess that's Earth. Sol 3. For SV17Q, the object is considered a Schelling point, an equilibrium in a non-communicative cooperative game such as a mutual search, namely a mutually obvious game strategy. The fact that DP2147 is now considered a threat relies on a weak alleged connection between its transmission pattern and the Yalara event, which made both events to be considered as related. Then there's this weird graphic of a mouse, and it says there's this triangle, this pyramid. It says, I'm an ETI, I'm a mill orb, or I'm an UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon. More gobbledygook, and then it says, it was the first confirmed, irrefutable, uncontested case. A fighter patrol was flying over, and then in all caps it says, denied. We prepare everything for the exercise. Our mill orb became visible to the fighter pilots. We did the planned maneuvers. We were expecting the pilots to anxiously report on the presence of an unidentified object. It's always like that. Only this time, the pilots reported the presence of not one object, but two. We were frozen when we looked at the radar screens. There were two objects, ours and theirs. It gets more interesting. All right, so there's more coded language, and then here's another English paragraph. Quote, to disclose exactly what? That we have mill orbs that even Northcom doesn't know about? That we run tests without fighter pilots knowing that they are being tested? That during one of those tests, an unidentified object appeared that was clearly not ours? Lie upon lie. Is that what you want us to make public? Then another coded paragraph. And then it says, NORAD played its role, but it was clearly needing a redesign. That's why Northcom was created. Today, in view of all the evidence we have after having assessed hostile incidents in denied, and after having confirmed the non-terrestrial nature of the threat we face, we advocate for the creation of the so-called SpaceCom in order to play the role of a global aerospace warning for the Earth from these non-terrestrial objects in space and the detection, validation, and warning of attack by those objects. Interesting. Two more paragraphs of coded language, and then it says, the conclusion is clear. We'd better say everything we know about them already before we have to explain what an object like DP2147 is doing in the vicinity of our solar system. Here's where it gets really interesting. The object will be visible very soon to everyone on this planet, and no one will be able to avoid the matter anymore. We scroll down, two more paragraphs of coded language, and then this is the final English text on the page. It says, during a test in November 2020, the National Radio Astronomy Observatory used a new radar to transmit signals from Green Bank Telescope in West Virginia. Yes, test produced images of the Apollo 15 moon landing site, but it also spotted a previously unknown object located at denied. They way civilian work is by using a transmitter, I'm reading it exactly the way it's written, installed on the Green Bank Telescope and the widespread antennas of the Very Long Baseline Array, comprising 10 radio observatories that span all over the world in order to receive the signal reflected back to Earth. Image restitution algorithms are then applied to enhance the image quality from the received raw data. This puts See, this puts us in front of the unavoidable fact that sooner or later, civilians will detect and identify DP2147, something we were keeping for ourselves until we could gather enough data to disclose its existence. This is what urged us to press the government to disclose some of our findings concerning non-terrestrial artificial threats. Better for us to leak some information than waiting for civilians to go public on DP2147. What are we talking about? What is going on here? Look at this. If you scroll down more, look at these other field resonance propulsion systems, new lights in our skies, inducing mystical experiences in selected populations, the role of slow-flying deltoid PSVs, neutrino counter-nuclear weapons, in-silo detonation of nuclear targets, parallel skies from the overt space to the covert space. Ooh, nice rhyme. Artificial skies generating ionospheric disturbances using high-frequency induced scatter targets. Are they talking about HARP? Inducing mystical spirit experiences. And it just goes on. It just goes on and on. There's more coded language and then an English paragraph and another one and another one. And it just keeps going. We go back. Field resonance propulsion systems, lights in our skies. Again. There you go. So if we go to the top of the web page, we go back to the home page, and then it says at the top, RSS, books, there's all their books listed here, master index, email. If you click email, it actually opens up an email, and the email address it's set for is ayndryl@gmail.com, andryl@gmail.com. That's weird. And then it says videos. If you click videos, it takes us to the Forgotten Languages YouTube page, where it links to two websites, Forgotten Languages, the website, and then curacy.com. If you click that, it takes us to a page that looks like this, and I will click no further. I have no idea what happens if I click any of this stuff, but it's got a date, 9/25/15. It looks like a time code at the end, 30/30/30. You guys can click this. I'm not clicking anything here. I'm already on a list, I'm sure. So that comes up. I don't know what that website's all about. What are their videos? Let's just click one. Seven years ago. Okay, it's got some weird music. Is that all this is? Okay. All their videos look like they're pretty old. Latest video was 6 years ago. I don't know what to make of this, guys. I don't know. I can't make heads or tails of it. I don't know what to make of it. I really don't. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and share this video. Please don't forget to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. It's a heavy lift to build this channel, and I need all the help that I can get. Thank you to everyone who stopped in today to check out this video. I appreciate all of you. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, keep looking up.